Have you ever sat alone in the middle of the night, looked around your room, and asked yourself, what am I even living for? It's not always a big, dramatic question. Sometimes it's just that quiet tiredness after a long day of chasing deadlines. After a shopping spree that didn't actually make you happy. After receiving praise for an achievement and still feeling empty inside. You look at what you already have: money, a stable job, a few relationships, a little bit of recognition, and somehow it still feels like something's missing. I've been there too, and I believe many of you watching this have been there or are still there right now. Today, I want to share with you an old story that somehow still feels brand new. It's the story of a man who once had everything: power, wealth, wisdom, pleasure, and then looked back and said something that shocked the world. Everything is meaningless. That man was the writer of the book of Ecclesiastes. And what he wrote wasn't meant to make us depressed. It was meant to set us free from the illusions that keep our souls in chains. Before we go any deeper, I'd like you to do something simple but important. Hit the like button right now and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Not because I need the numbers, but because every time you do, this message has a better chance of reaching one more person who's lying awake at night, feeling empty. And at the end of this video, I'll invite you to leave an amen in the comments, not as a formality, but as a real declaration that you want to live differently. Stay with me until the very end. What we're about to talk about could change the way you see your entire life. Let's start with the hardest truth. If you take everything people chase after, money, success, pleasure, the approval of others, and put them on the scale of the soul, you'll find they're frighteningly light. They simply aren't strong enough to carry the weight of a human life. They're like the mist on a window on a cold winter morning, beautiful for a moment, then gone. This isn't pessimism. This is freedom. Because only when you stop expecting temporary things to give you eternal meaning can you start looking in the right place. Have you noticed? Every spring people talk about something new. New technology, new trends, new life philosophies. But deep down, human beings still cry over the same old pains, still laugh at the same familiar joys, still compete, still feel lonely, still long to be loved. There is truly nothing new under the sun. Only a heart touched by God can genuinely become new. Even our human wisdom has limits. The more you learn, the more you see how complex and unjust the world is. The deeper you understand, the more you realize how little you can actually control. Knowledge doesn't always bring peace. Sometimes it brings sorrow. But it's exactly in those moments that we discover we need a greater wisdom. The wisdom that comes from the one who created the universe. Friend, life is not a straight line that we draw ourselves. It is made of seasons. There is a time to plant and a time to harvest. Time to hold on tightly and a time to let go. A time to speak and a time to be silent, a time to laugh and a time to cry. The issue isn't whether we like the season we're in. The real question is whether we believe there is someone who is guiding those seasons. When you believe that, you stop rushing. You stop trying to force everything to happen your way. You learn how to wait. And in that waiting, a kind of maturity grows that no course or book can teach you. What's even more amazing is that God didn't just place us in seasons. He also placed a deep longing inside every human heart, a longing for eternity. That's why, no matter how much money, how many achievements, or how many relationships you have, there are still moments when you look in the mirror and feel something is missing. Because you were not created only to live under the sun. You were created to look upward. And that's why death is not the most terrifying thing. Death is simply a reminder that all of us, rich or poor, talented or ordinary, will return to the same place. Dust returns to dust, but the spirit does not. The spirit returns to the God who gave it. This awareness doesn't make us pessimistic. It makes us live more seriously. Every choice, every word, every relationship suddenly carries weight. There's a subtle trap that many people fall into without realizing it, working just to be better than others. Have you noticed? Sometimes we don't actually love the work we're doing. We're just afraid of being left behind. We work to prove ourselves. We work so that others will acknowledge us, and the result is exhaustion, envy, and emptiness. Work itself is a good thing, but when the motive becomes competition, it turns into a burden. A person who knows they are already loved by God no longer needs to prove anything. They work out of love, out of a desire to contribute, out of a desire to honor the one who gave them the ability. That is the kind of work that brings freedom. And in the middle of that race, we often forget something very important: rest. Some people believe that the busier they are, the more valuable they are. But the truth is, a handful with quietness is better than both hands full with toil and chasing after the wind. Rest is not laziness. Rest is how we admit that we are not God. It's how we protect our souls from being worn down. It's how we remember that life is about more than producing and achieving. What about our words? It's so easy to make promises to God in moments of strong emotion and then forget them later. But God doesn't treat our words as empty air. He sees them as an expression of the heart. So be careful when you make a promise, and when you have made one, keep it. Not to impress God, but to show Him respect. Patience is the same. Many people only love beginnings. They get excited about new projects, new relationships, new plans. But the real value isn't found at the starting line. It's found in the ability to finish. Proud people want quick results. Humble people accept the process. And it's in that process that God is shaping us. A wise person doesn't just know what to do. They also know when to do it. A right decision made at the wrong time can still bring painful consequences. So learn to listen, learn to wait, learn to discern, and accept this hard truth. Life is not fair in the way we expect. Good people also face hardship. Bad people also experience good seasons. Rain falls on both the righteous and the unrighteous. That doesn't mean God is absent. It means we cannot control everything. Only God remains steady when everything else is shaking. Fools talk too much. They speak confidently about things they don't understand. They give advice about tomorrow when they themselves have no idea what tomorrow will bring. Wise people are different. They speak less. They listen more. And when they do speak, their words carry weight. Finally, we have to face the biggest question of all. What is life really for? The answer from the book of Ecclesiastes is clear and powerful. After examining everything, wealth, pleasure, wisdom, work, injustice, and death, the writer concludes, "Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." To fear God here does not mean trembling in terror. It means deep reverence. It means recognizing that He is God and we are His creation. It means living under His authority with joy. And keeping His commandments is not a religious burden. It is how we express love and loyalty. And never forget, everything we do, both the things done in public and the secret intentions of the heart, will one day be brought before God. This is not written to frighten us. It is written to remind us that life has meaning. Every choice matters. Every action carries eternal weight. For those who suffer injustice, this is hope. For those who live carelessly, this is a warning. Friend, I want to say something very sincere to you. You don't need a perfect life to start living with meaning. You only need to decide to put God at the center. When you do that, the work you do will take on a different value. The relationships you build will go deeper. The losses you experience will no longer feel meaningless. And even the dry seasons will become places where God teaches you lessons you could never learn anywhere else. Life under the sun is fragile, but when you live with your eyes lifted upward, everything changes. You will still work, still laugh, still cry, still make effort, but you will no longer do those things as if they were everything. You will do them as someone preparing for a far more important meeting, the meeting with the one who created you. Now I want to invite you to do a few things. First, if this message has touched your heart, please like the video and subscribe to the channel right now. That is how you help this message keep spreading. Second, share this video with at least one person you know who is carrying a sense of emptiness inside. Don't keep it to yourself. Third, leave an amen in the comments. Not because I need confirmation, but because it is your public declaration that you want to live differently. To live with the fear of God and with eternal purpose. And finally, take a few minutes after watching to pray. Talk to God about the most honest things in your heart. He is listening. Thank you for staying until the very end. I believe God will use these words to work in your heart in His own way. See you in the next video. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Amen.